Who's he even trying to pass it to? Jerome looked absolutely shook, while Li Jian thought, wait, I have more than 3 options here, right? Jerome's jaw dropped. No way he's shooting from there? Li Jian went for a monster shot. The ball skimmed the post, and the keeper didn't even get close. Li Jian's teammates were bummed out. One of them said, nice shot, dude, and another went, dang, so close. Jerome was totally shook, like, what even is this? What a wild shot. Is that really the Jian I know? Enzo nudged Jerome. Hey, don't tell me you're scared already, bro. Jerome whipped his head around, like, huh? Me? Scared? No way. Li Jian looked at Jerome, I hope not. Li Jian clenched his fist. Our ace hasn't even popped off yet. The real game is just getting started. Even though we didn't score, that early pressure definitely did some work. Li Jian hyped his squad to push the defensive line up, while the opponents started tiptoeing their attack from the goalkeeper like they were sneaking snacks at midnight. The Fiorentina captain said, hold up, chill out, don't press too hard yet. From here on out, it's time for defense and counterattacks. The other team's just passing the ball around. We're keeping things chill and balanced, but you just know they're gonna look for a way to attack. So how are they gonna pull it off? If I were them, Li Jian's checking out their formation, and yup, looks like they're rocking a 4-3-3. In the end, their only move is to spam those wings. Juventus players are teaming up on the wing, while Fiorentina's squad is closing the gap. No wonder, the world-class left-back is on the move, totally reading their minds about trying to get a numbers advantage, so he slides over to the left to shut it down. And get this, not only did he move himself, he bossed his teammates around too, totally shutting down the enemy's attack vibe. A Juventus player said, pass it, let's chill and try again. Coach Tony thought, today, besides his usual gig, I even handed him control of the defense in the first half. Coach Tony burst out laughing. Man, he's crushing it at everything. What am I even here for? No goals yet, but dang, this game is intense. We're totally locking down the field and shutting down their attacks. One of the Juventus players was super frustrated. Like, bro, there's literally zero space to break through. And when the other team tried to YOLO their way forward, we just swaggered up and defended them head-on. And then if we snatched the ball, boom, instant counterattack. We stuck to Coach Tony's game plan like glue, totally messing with the other team's heads. When the first half hit the 20-minute mark, Coach Luca asked Coach Tony, hey, since this game is so tense, both sides must have totally lost focus by now, right? Coach Tony was like, yep. Then he added, just look at how the other team is casually yeeting passes from way up the field. We're just letting them vibe, and they don't even realize how sus that is. They seriously think it's fine. Coach Tony flashed a smug grin. They don't even realize how risky that play is. Time to switch up the vibe. Li Jian thought, watching a Juventus player getting all impatient. Like, how long are these guys gonna keep blocking us? He chucked a super casual pass, and Jerome yelled, bro, what was that half-baked cross? Li Jian spotted an opening. He zoomed in and snatched the ball like a pro. Jerome freaked out. Li Jian, bro, have you just been sitting there waiting for us to mess up? Jerome thought, but like, stressing only matters when you've got a squad backing you up. Going solo. Yeah, good luck with that, buddy. He called his squad to step up, and the Florence captain was out here doing the same vibe check with his own crew. Wait, those guys who are always glued together are suddenly orbiting around Jian now. Jerome thought angrily. Seriously, is that tiny brat actually the team's MVP? Li Jian could feel his squad hyping him up. He thought, man, isn't it such a vibe when everyone's got your back? Then he yelled, yo, push the defense up. If I can just intercept this cross pass. Li Jian charged forward, but was a tad late. Yikes, that was close, still not over yet. Oh snap. Li Jian kept hounding the defender like glue, totally locking him down. Then some cocky Juventus player booted the ball over to the backline. Li Jian thought, wow, the other team's been going full send on attack this whole time. So yeah, it's pretty obvious their defense is all over the place. Keep pressing. A Juventus player was like, what? He's still tailing the pass back? The Juventus crew passed the ball around, thinking, how far is he gonna follow? Eventually, it was passed back to the last line of defense. Jerome grabs the ball. Li Jian thought, nice, we totally got them sweating. Normally, when this happens, you just boot the ball as far as you can to get rid of the pressure. But Jerome's not that guy. Li Jian kept thinking, these Juventus dudes? Straight up a squad of top players dying to get their first team glow up. Li Jian was like, no way they're just gonna boot it. These guys want to flex their passing and chill under pressure. Li Jian and Jerome went at it, battling hard. The goalie yelled to Jerome, pass to the defender. Jerome thought, no way, my only opponent is Li Jian. Sure enough, Jerome tried to ease the pressure with a forward pass. Li Jian thought. Dang, he shook off my press with some seriously slick passing skills. No sweat though. Bruno's got my back for sure. And boom, Bruno snatches the ball. Jerome was big mad, while Li Jian was over the moon. Oh, nice one, Bruno. Li Jian and Jerome kept battling. Jerome snapped at Li Jian. You really think you can just turn your back to me to get the ball? Stop messing around, you little punk. Li Jian thought. Am I good? Did he just push me for real? Jerome. Is that all you've got? I broke through. Then Jerome came in from behind and slide tackled Li Jian like a total savage. Coach Tony shouted to the ref. That's a foul. Coach Luca advised. Chill, coach. You'll get a warning. Li Jian hit the ground, thinking, this dude's tackled me like this before. I'm used to it. Li Jian thought, the ref hasn't blown the whistle, no reason to stop. The ball's still in play. I haven't lost possession yet. One more step for the free kick. Li Jian goes for the shot and boom, it's in. Yup, that's a goal for sure. The ref blew the whistle. This is wild. Li Jian's teammates are cheering like crazy. 25 minutes into the first half. Li Jian scores. Juventus 0 Florence 1. Let's go. Jerome stared at Li Jian, grinding his teeth and said, you little punk, you've really leveled up, huh? Li Jian sighed dramatically, covering his face with his hand. Li Jian stood there all confident, thinking, bro, you're still just a little guy. Block him. As soon as I put my name on the scoreboard, the whole vibe of the game switched up. From the opponent's angle, losing a goal after leading for over 20 minutes, it's natural for them to get antsy. As a result, the tension on the field cranked up. Players from both sides clashed, and the ref blew the whistle. With emotions running high, impulsive moves increased, and the ref warned both captains. Li Jian took a deep breath and said, dang, this game's getting kinda wild, but hey, let's not lose our chill. Time to lock in and focus up, squad. Coach Luca goes, man, the other team looks totally emotional too, right? Coach Tony's like, yeah, kinda. Then Tony adds, especially their number 5. Dude looks wrecked after getting schooled hard by Jian. Li Jian could totally feel Jerome's death stare. The game kicked off again, and a teammate yelled at Li Jian, watch your back! Li Jian jumped in surprise, thinking, ever since that first goal, it's like everyone's got it out for me. Li Jian thought, honestly, I'm low-key freaking out, but no way am I letting it show. Li Jian thought, dang, if I don't pass quick, he's totally gonna body me. Li Jian thought, time to fake it till I make it. Yeah, let's flex for my bestie now. Li Jian thought, gotta let him see. I'm chill as heck, not scared at all. Li Jian started moving way more, just to keep the ball glued to his feet. Li Jian thought, whenever the other team tries to gang up on me, my squad just swoops in and body blocks them like superheroes. His teammates yelled, go for it, Jian. We got your back. Li Jian thought, dang, I finally got some real ride or die bros now. I'm about to tear up, thought Li Jian, not gonna lie. If they double team me, I'll just leave the other side wide open. That's exactly what's happening on the right now, Li Jian mused. I whipped the ball over to that open space and then just zoomed ahead. Li Jian thought, man, it was kinda rough with the first half almost over. But honestly, I was having a blast running out there. I've never had this much fun in a game before. The second half kicks off, and everyone's hyping each other up. Coach Luca turned to Coach Tony and was like, Coach, should we hit up Coach Vincenzo? Coach Tony goes, hit him up for what? Luca, basically buzzing, says, you know, the thing about Jian. Since the future of Florence is right here, he better snatch him up ASAP. Coach Tony patted Coach Luca on the shoulder and said, chill dude, we're still in the middle of the game. Don't get too carried away. Coach Luca shot back. What's that supposed to mean? Didn't you see him totally solo-level Giovantu out there? Coach Tony said, chill out man, with a temper like that. Everyone can tell you're Italian. Tony thought to himself. Well, I mean I say that. Then he mused. After that goal, Jian looks like he just leveled up in life, totally unlocked a new clarity mode. He's playing like a kid having fun, not like some young prodigy under pressure. Coach Luca said, pretty cool, right? The moment he joins the first team, it's gonna be absolute chaos. Gioventu's new coach, Rhoda L. Matias, said, go look up info on player number 20. An assistant asked, you mean number 20 from the other team? Matias, clearly annoyed, shot back, like, who else would I be talking about? Why do I have to repeat myself? An assistant explains, well, you just got to Italy, so you might not know, but he was actually on our team. Matthias is shocked. What? The assistant continues, he was the one whose contract got axed earlier this year. Then he dipped to Florence. Matthias was like, why though? The assistant goes, he just couldn't vibe with the team. Matthias goes, spill the tea, give me the details. The assistant looked like he was in actual pain. Matthias let out a sigh like, wow, I knew Gioventu was a hot mess, but I didn't think it was this bad. For a team that's supposed to be repping Serie A, finding a youth player who can actually make the first team is like hunting unicorns. And get this, a news report says Gioventu blew the most cash on transfers. They blew insane amounts of cash piecing together a team like total clowns, and then just handed the league title over to Milan. World Football Club. Matthias thinks, knowing this season's start isn't smooth either. They come to me, a German footballer, for help. How can they be so forgetful? How can they let such talent slip away so easily? An assistant said, honestly, they should have bent over backwards to help him fit in. Matthias thought, bro, are you blind? Didn't you see us all stuck here because that one guy can't do squat? He's already way beyond the U17 level, right? Matthias asks, are those who claim to be Serie A youth coaches blind? Matthias thinks, if only I had come a year earlier, the team's future might have changed. Matthias stood up and said, well, looks like this team needs a full-on reboot. An assistant was shocked. Wait, what? Matthias replied, yeah, I literally have no choice but to yeet every coach who was around back then. 20 minutes into the second half, Gioventu's down 0-1 to Fiorentina. Lee Jian's thinking, I've never played a full game before and my legs are straight up shaking halfway through the second half. Thanks to physical training, I can at least hold on this long. Lee Jian thought. The coaches kept yelling from the sidelines, Jian, you good? Need a sub or nah? But today I just want to run till the very end. Lee Jian gasping says, I'm fine, I can hold on. Lee Jian thought, I don't want to leave any regrets. Seeing the frustrated faces of the kids helping the team because they can't do as they please gives me more strength. Lee Jian thought. But when I was almost at my limit, honestly, I kept going while thinking of my close friend. Lee Jian thought, I should have deleted that message. He always checks his phone. Whatever, I already said it, so now I gotta go all out and make my bestie proud. Final score 0-1, Florence wins. A teammate shouted super hyped, we won, we actually beat that Turin team. The coaches hugged each other like they just won the lottery, screaming, we did it, we took down Gioventu. Florence took the W. On the bus ride back, Coach Tony let out a dramatic sigh and shot off a text. Coach Tony thought, you'll thank me for this. Coach Vincenzo's phone rings. He's the first team coach of Florence. Vincenzo, Italy. Bestie's just lying on the bed, bored out of his mind, holding his phone like, ugh, so boring. He stares at the screen. Lee Jian sent him a message. Seriously, how tired could he even be? He doesn't even have the energy to send a single text. Even though my bestie promised he'd text me, here I am, mashing my phone into my cheek, sulking like a sad potato. I know he was super tired yesterday, but if he woke up today, he should have totally texted me right away. Duh. My bestie was rolling around on the bed, kicking his legs like a grumpy toddler. He flips over and lies face down, sulking. His training should totally be over by now, seriously. He's been ignoring his one and only bestie way too much. Best friend's eyes suddenly go wide. Wait, hold up. He shoots up in bed. Is he picturing a bunch of girls in his head right now? Don't tell me I'm not his one and only anymore. Best friend just froze. Like, why am I even thinking about these girls? He shut his eyes all annoyed. Ugh, whatever. This whole thing is seriously driving me nuts. Why am I the only one freaking out? What's Lee Jian's deal anyway? He flopped back on the bed, grabbing his hair dramatically. He's lying there, looking all defeated. Lee Jian, what the heck are you even doing? Suddenly, the phone on the floor starts buzzing, and best friend's face lights up like a Christmas tree. He dives for the phone. It's Lee Jian. Best friend stares at his phone, looking super shocked. Wait, are you asking me out? On the screen, a new message from Lee Jian pops up. Got any plans for tomorrow night? Next day, outside Florence's Franchi Stadium, it's totally packed with people. Lee Jian and his bestie squeezed through the crowded street. Whoa, there are so many people. Dang, so this is the Florence first team's home turf? Best friend goes, looks like Florentines throw this kind of party every weekend. This stadium's called Artemio Franchi. So why didn't you just come with your Florence buddies from school? Lee Jian was totally caught off guard, like, He awkwardly looked away. I don't really know those guys. Plus, it's just too much hassle. But I didn't want to come alone either. Bestie gives him the side eye, sharp as ever. So, you better think before you answer. Lee Jian's cheeks go red. So yeah, you're literally the only one who'd come with me. Best friend grinned like he just won something, spun around and strutted ahead. Alright, I guess I'll do you the honor and tag along. Suddenly, best friend jumped on Lee Jian's back. arm around his neck like a pro wrestler. Big sis is gonna hang out with poor little Li Jian today, so you better behave, got it? The two of them walked side by side, with Li Jian fussing over his messy hair. Best friend threw out a question. No training today? Li Jian replied, well, technically, yeah, kind of. Seriously, how messed up did he get my hair? Li Jian explained to his bestie. Coach gave me homework instead of practice. Bestie was super surprised, then got all hyped. Wait, what? For real? What is it? What is it though? At the Florence U17 training ground, Coach Tony told Li Jian, no training today, go watch the match instead. Li Jian was like, wait, go watch the match? Coach Tony explained, yep, it's the Florence first team's game. Li Jian is still kinda lost, but like, there's training tomorrow. Coach Tony gets all serious-faced. Yesterday was your first time playing a full match, right? It was intense, you need a day off. Coach Tony spins around looking everywhere. It's the Italian Cup game, so you might spot some familiar faces. Now, where did I put it? Li Jian tries to argue. It's not like I'm totally out of commission yet. Coach Tony suddenly points at him, pretending to be angry. What? You're gonna disobey your coach now? Li Jian freaks out, waving his hands frantically. No way, I'd never. Coach Tony bursts out laughing. Ha ha ha, just messing with you, just messing. Coach Tony smiles. I'm not just telling you to chill, I'm actually giving you homework. He turns his back to Li Jian. Go watch the game tomorrow and then, think about your feelings. Li Jian is stunned. Feelings? Coach Tony bends down to grab something. Just freestyle it. Think about what kind of soccer our team plays, what we could do better, maybe how you'd fit in if you were on the field. Coach Tony grinned as he handed Li Jian the goods. All set. Here are your tickets. Li Jian took the tickets. Cool, thanks. Li Jian looked at the 2 tickets in his hand. Wait, why do I have 2? Coach Tony suddenly pops up with a weird grin. If you can, take your girlfriend with you. Li Jian freaks out and yells, Tony. The coach grins. Oh, is that supposed to be a secret? I heard it from Luca. Coach Luca said you spent your weekly allowance to buy your girlfriend a present. Li Jian is left speechless, literally shaking with rage, like, ugh, Coach Luca, you absolute snitch. Coach Tony laughs. Ha ha ha, why are you so shy about it? Li Jian protests. She's not my girlfriend, just a friend, okay? Coach Tony pats her on the shoulder. Yeah, I totally believe you. Whatever, haha. Coach Tony winks. Have fun. Li Jian snaps back to reality. Man, I have no idea what's going on in his head. Best friend yells from behind him. Hey Li Jian, what are you even doing? Seriously. Bestie stands there with hands on hips, totally unimpressed. Like, what are you even doing? You've been daydreaming since just now. Li Jian scratches his head. Sorry, what did you just say? His buddy says angrily. I said we have to queue for at least 30 minutes to get in. His buddy looks down at his feet. Isn't the match at 5? By the time we get in, the match will have started. Li Jian's buddy gave his arm a nudge. We're late, huh? Thought this was gonna be a big deal. The buddy turned to look back, but Li Jian just grabbed his hand. Come on, let's go. They squeezed through the crowd, and the friend was like, where are we even going? Li Jian was thinking, not gonna lie, I totally suggested meeting late on purpose because, watch this. Li Jian pulls something out of his pocket, boom, no need to stand in line. A staff member tried to block them. Hey, 2 people, what's up? Li Jian whipped out his youth pass, staff just waved them right in. His bestie followed Li Jian and asked, yo, why can't we just waltz right in? Li Jian grinned. You really wanna know why? I'm gonna be playing here soon. Have you ever seen players lining up to get in? His friend gave him a side eye, totally dramatic. You know, you're kind of annoying. Li Jian grinned smugly. Yeah, I know, can't help it though. I've been rehearsing this moment in my head since yesterday. The buddy bounced towards the entrance. Hurry up, this looks like the way in. Suddenly, he burst into a cheer song. My heart is sad, far from you, magical purple lily. Li Jian was gobsmacked. The stadium was packed. Fans were belting out our cheer songs. Whoa, this is epic. Li Jian watched silently as the purple wave swept over the stands. The fans are totally fired up. Every time that purple wave hits, the cheers and screams explode. Li Jian's friend looks at him, eyes wide, like, whoa, this is nuts. You're seriously gonna play here? Li Jian gets a little awkward. Yeah, I guess. His bestie asked, kinda worried. But can our Li Jian handle this? Li Jian was confused. Wait, what do you mean? The friend explained. Dude, you gotta play in front of so many people. You sure you're up for it? Li Jian fired back, super hyped. As long as you don't start crying, it's all good. Who's gonna cry anyway? Of course I got this. Li Jian's inner monologue. Honestly, my buddy's got a point. He stared nervously at the pitch. Like, who actually plays with this many people watching? He looked at the empty field and got hit with a wave of dizziness. Li Jian shook his head, trying to chill out. Nah, playing here is still years away, so why stress? He forced a smile, pretending it's all good. Just treating this like some homework the coach gave me. No big deal. Today, I'm just scoping out our team. The whistle blew and the match kicked off. At 43 minutes into the first half, the players looked wiped out. A dude with green hair was sweating buckets. Crap. My buddy glanced at the vibe on the field, looking worried. Li Jian, you sure this atmosphere isn't a problem? Not getting a response, he waved. Yo, are you even listening? Li Jian just clenched his fists. His roommate called out, Hey, stomach Li Jian. Li Jian was gasping for air. 43 minutes into the first half, the fans were getting super hyped. Hey, assistant. What the heck are they even doing out there? Are they planning to just cross the ball all day or what? And what's up with those cringe final shots? The friend whispered, Dude, people seem super pissed, kinda scary. Li Jian whispered, Honestly, this game should have been a walk in the park for us. But we still haven't scored before halftime. His friend asked, The other team's just second division, right? Li Jian replied, Yeah, that's right. The friend looked at him. So, football genius, where do you think we messed up? Li Jian thought about it, looking all serious. It's not just about our finishing skills or how accurate the crosses are. Honestly, our attack is just way too basic. Another player whipped in a cross. Yep, yet another cross. It's so repetitive even the fans are noticing. 9 out of 10 times, it's a cross after a wing breakthrough, easily headed out by the defenders. It's way too obvious. If you play this basic, the defenders could do it in their sleep. The coach is literally jumping mad on the sidelines, and judging by how stressed the subs look, they totally get it too. Is it just me, or is his head literally on fire right now? He looks totally terrifying. Li Jian's inner thoughts. If I ever get to debut for the first team, please let it be as late as possible. Seriously, that's scary AF. His bestie shot him an impatient look. Hey, why are you just standing there all silent? Getting even more annoyed, he added. Bro, are you ghosting me right now? Li Jian snapped out of it. Oh, sorry. Basically, what we need now is some spicy, creative plays. The ref blew the whistle, and that's halftime. 15 minutes into the second half, a player shot powerfully. It was Gino. Li Jian excitedly clenched his fist. This cross was simple yet sharp. The timing was spot on. The ball flew towards the goal. This is a sure goal. The ball hit the net, and the fans went wild with cheers. A long-haired player celebrated the goal. At the 17th minute of the second half, Lorenzo scored with a header. Fiorentina 1, Palermo 0. His bestie hyped up and yelled at Li Jian. Whoa, it went in. Li Jian's inner monologue. Dang, they just kept crossing, and hey, guess what? It actually worked. The fans started chanting the scorer's name, Lorenzo. Man, I legit got goosebumps. They're chanting the goal scorer's name. Just a minute ago, everyone was roasting them. Li Jian's heart started vibing too. Even just standing here watching, I can totally feel my heart pounding. If that were my name, Li Jian, face all red, asked his bestie. If people called my name like that, what do you think would happen? Bestie thought for a sec, like, well, honestly, I'd be super happy. Li Jian's eyes sparkled. For real? Bestie puffed up with pride. Duh, obviously. This I basically raised you, so of course I'm proud. Li Jian just looked totally confused. His bestie suddenly realized, wait, if that's how it works, shouldn't they be yelling my name instead? Li Jian just stood there, awkward as heck. His bestie pretended to be mad. What's with that face? You got a death wish or something? Li Jian quickly waved his hands. Chill, just kidding, just kidding. Li Jian thought to himself, honestly, he's not totally wrong though. Whatever, just thinking about it gives me all the good vibes. If everyone started shouting my name in front of my bestie, I'd be so freaking proud. Suddenly, Li Jian spaced out. His roommate's arm was totally covered in goosebumps. Li Jian pointed in surprise. Whoa, you've got goosebumps on your arm. His roommate instantly yanked their arm back. Hey, what are you staring at? You creep? Have you been low-key spying on me this whole time? Li Jian's heart skipped a beat. Wait, what? Spying? The ref blew the whistle. Foul on the field. Wait, what? That's a foul, straight up red card, asked his bestie. Do you know him? Dude, that's a golden opportunity. Li Jian explained. Gino's a year older than me. We were literally training together until just recently. His buddy was shook. Wait, 1 year older means 17? Dude must be cracked. Li Jian nodded. Yup. A teammate gave Gino a pat on the shoulder. You good? Gino rubbed his eyes. Yeah, I'm chill. Li Jian thought to himself. Gino's seriously impressive. Dude got promoted to the first team in just a month, which is honestly wild. Our squad's kinda running on fumes, so I heard they're pulling in youth players to fill some club match spots. But then the coach grabs Gino by the shoulder. Forget about the youth team label. This is pro level now. You think you can handle it? Li Jian kept thinking. Even so, just as expected, Gino is built different. That foul just now, all thanks to Gino's insane move. Suddenly, his bestie asked, "Wait, is that guy like a soccer genius or something?" Li Jian was caught off guard. Huh? His bestie grinned and said, "Right? He's only a year older than you, and he's already playing over there. Doesn't that mean he's just more talented than you?" Hey. Li Jian's face turned tomato red. Who knows, right? Who even knows where I'll be a year from now? His bestie put their hands on their hips. Whoa, where's all this confidence coming from? So you're saying you'll be playing there in a year, right? Li Jian blushed. Totally. A player got ready to take the free kick. His bestie grinned and said, "Wow, talking about football really changes a person." "What if you totally flop though?" Li Jian replied, "Just watch me." The player started his run-up. Li Jian thought to himself, who am I kidding? Getting into the first team in a year? That's just wild. The player takes the shot. Li Jian keeps thinking, nah, I've already scored myself a legit pro contract, and Gino's ball in there too. The ball smacks the crossbar. Li Jian thinks to himself, honestly, I feel like I could totally be out there playing this match. When I imagined the ball might bounce off someone's head and go in, the crowd went wild. Li Jian just stared, totally stunned. Maybe I really can pull this off. After the game, Li Jian and his bestie were strolling down the street. Li Jian asked, "Pretty fun, right?" His bestie laughed, "Yeah, omri, I'm vibing. Honestly, I'm just glad we played so bad today, I was legit worried we'd lose." Li Jian said, "But hey, I'm just happy we won. Plus, that last-minute overtime goal was clutch." His bestie put their hands on their hips. "Alright, we're here. Thanks for walking me home." Li Jian waved his hand. "Yep, no biggie. Go to bed early. Stop scrolling on your phone. I'm out." His bestie snapped, "You got a death wish or something?" Li Jian strolled off alone down the street. His bestie watched him walk away. Dude, why does his back look so dependable? Suddenly, his friend shouted after him. Li Jian just about jumped out of his skin. His bestie waved with a big grin. "I had a blast to buy." Li Jian turned back, watched him go and grinned too. "I had a blast too. Good night." The next day at training, Coach Tony hit me with, "So, how's it going?" Li Jian was confused. "You mean?" Coach Tony explained. "That thing." Li Jian replied. "I had a blast." Coach Tony put his files down. "You had a blast?" "From what I saw, there were plenty of issues, my dude." Li Jian started to get nervous. Coach Tony said, "Thanks to all those hopeless random crosses, the fans and media are seriously not vibing right now." Coach Tony stared him down. "I know you saw it too, so just spill. How do you actually feel?" Li Jian thought, "Man, I was just gonna say it was a game, like, I learned a ton." "I'm worried I might seem arrogant." Coach Tony laughed. "Just like you talk to your girlfriend on the field, say it honestly." Li Jian retorted, "She's not my girlfriend." Li Jian thought to himself, "But since the coach said so, actually this situation keeps repeating. So I guess I've got no choice but to spill how I really feel." Li Jian said, "Yeah, some parts were kinda meh." Coach Tony sighed dramatically, stroking his chin like a philosopher. Li Jian hurried to explain, "Oh, of course I know watching the game and actually playing are two totally different things." Trying to wrap it up, Coach Tony leaned in closer. Li Jian blurted out nervously, "The offense needs more creativity, right? Wait, did I just overshare or say something cringe?" Coach Tony pointed at his hair. "Like you see this, right? Coach Vincenzo is stressing about the same thing. Look, his hair's falling out." Coach Tony let out a sigh, like, "Yeah, I get what we need. But at the end of the day, it's the players who play, so the tactics gotta fit whoever's on the pitch." Coach Tony kept going. "We need some wild cards among the players to spice things up. But honestly, there's nobody super creative in the first team right now." "You feel it too, don't you?" Li Jian replied. Yup," Coach Tony asked. "So, you want to give it a shot yourself?" Li Jian was shocked. "Wait, what did you just say?" Coach Tony grinned. "Chill, don't freak out. A player who can spice up the offense. Aren't you the guy?" Li Jian was absolutely shook. Like, is this for real or am I dreaming? Coach Tony is just chilling at the U17 pitch. He turns to me and goes, "Yo, you want to try out for the first team? Why aren't you saying anything?" Li Jian felt the pressure hit hard. He didn't spell it out, but basically told me, "Don't get cocky, bro." Coach Tony slowed his voice down. "Wait, am I stressing him out too much? I'm not saying you gotta join the first team right now. I'm just asking if you want to give it a shot." Li Jian swallowed nervously. Well, if it's just that..." Li Jian scratched his head, like, I don't really trust myself to shine in a match. But, for just a split second, I kinda did want to give it a shot." Coach Tony went, "Oh." Then Coach Tony gave a fist pump. Nice. That's all I needed to hear. Li Jian looked totally shook. Wait, what? I get how you feel. Coach Tony started gesturing wildly. Just picture it, playing in front of thousands of people. It's enough to make you forget how to breathe. Li Jian thought to himself. Man, age really does matter here. Coach Tony got all hyped and said, "But hey, you're still young. And seriously, nobody's gonna roast a young player who's giving it their all. Actually, they'll be out there cheering you on." Coach Tony put his hand on Li Jian's shoulder. So if you get a shot in the future, don't overthink. Just grab it. He stared right at Li Jian. Got it? Seriously, don't hesitate. Li Jian pumped his fist all hyped. I got it. Well, sorta. Coach Tony threw him a thumbs up. Nice, go chill out. Li Jian waved and dipped. Alright, thanks for today. Coach Tony waved at him. See ya tomorrow. As soon as Li Jian bounced, Coach Tony spun around and snatched up his phone. He started dialing. Yo, it's me. Let's link up this weekend. Coach Vincenzo Fiorentina versus Modena game day. Li Jian was warming up on the field. Haha, after that talk, I kinda felt a little guilty. Honestly, that whole wanting to play for the first team thing? Yeah, that was just because of my bestie. I pictured him seeing thousands of people losing their minds cheering for me. That's literally why I said it. Sure, debuting in the first team at 16 is kinda wild. But what if he totally thought I'm just super passionate about football? Nope, that's not it. Training hard with him, I'm actually feeling the thrill of kicking fear's butt. Coach Luca puts his hand on Li Jian's shoulder. Jian, you hyped for today? Yeah, this is how it started, but I'm honestly giving it my all. Li Jian hyped himself up like, okay, I'll do my best. Coach Luca gave him a friendly backslap. Nice, let's squad up now. Man, I have no clue. But why did Coach suddenly drop the first team bomb on us? Yep, that's right. Coach Tony yelled, alright squad, huddle up. Weekend evening. Fiorentina A team's training ground at Viola Park. Coach Tony strolls in. Coach, I'm here. Coach Vincenzo goes, come on in. Coach Tony asked, looking worried. Dude, why are you trying so hard? Sir, your hairline's in full retreat. Coach Vincenzo shot back with a frosty. Shut up. Sit down. You're still as shameless as ever, huh? Coach Tony asked. Dang, you've been roasted so hard lately. How are you even surviving? Coach Vincenzo replied. Hey, I'm numb to it at this point. He yelled angrily. The fans are totally losing it. Honestly, same here. Coach Vincenzo asked. So what's the office saying? Are they finally going to splash some cash this winter? Coach Tony replied. Well, rumor has it if we can't sign Dusan, they'll use a third of the transfer fee to reinvest. Allegedly. Coach Vincenzo scoffed and yelled. But who's actually buying that? Coach Tony laughed and patted him. Haha, you got that right. Coach Vincenzo asked. You seem to be living the good life, huh? He rubbed his chin. Heard you bagged a win today. Was it Modena you were up against? Coach Tony grinned. Yep, that's the one. Not gonna lie, we crushed it. Coach Vincenzo walked off, totally unimpressed. Ha! Hey, are you here to flex? Well, I'm jealous anyway. Coach Tony quickly chimed in. Oh, don't be like that. But hey, the team's been doing pretty alright. Coach Vincenzo said. We just straight up lucked out, that's all. Winning just on luck? Dude, luck only gets you so far. I get it too. The fans are basically watching every game like it's a heart attack waiting to happen. But he yelled, super pissed off. Like, what do you want me to do about it? We need players with some serious creativity. And even Dusan's not renewing his contract. Coach Tony said, since last season, he's been pretty much carrying the team solo. So it's no surprise he'd be tempted by a good offer. Coach Vincenzo slumped on the couch. I'm betting he'll transfer by this winter or next summer at the latest. If we can't beef up during the winter transfer window and lose our main striker, we might as well just throw in the towel for this season. Coach Tony asked, so got any backup picks? Coach Vincenzo replied, there are a couple of strikers on the list. That money-hungry president promised to invest, so yeah, we'll poke around and see what we find. Coach Tony chimed in. Coach Tony looked him dead in the eye and said, so you've seriously never thought about trusting me yet? Coach Vincenzo asked, wait, are you saying you want to make a comeback as an active player? That's not even funny. Coach Vincenzo waved his hand with a chuckle. Aha, just kidding. You mean the friend you texted about last time? Coach Tony goes, yup, that's right. Like I said, whether it's running the game or pulling off crazy creative moves, he's an absolute dream player. One of the players was totally shook. Like, whoa, that cross was straight up insane. Fiorentina 1, Modena 0, 14th minute. Li Jian with the assist. He's got that clutch gene. Can score on his own when it counts. Fiorentina scores their second against Modena Lin in the 31st minute. And it's Li Jian bagging the goal. Maybe it's a bit early to say, but I'm dead sure Fiorentina's future is going to revolve around this guy. Coach Vincenzo takes a sip of water. So this genius you're hyping up is the one you're so confident about, huh? But isn't he just 16? Coach Tony waved his hand and went, yup, that's right. He needs some experience, but it won't take long. Even now, he's already built different, like next level awesome. Coach Tony clenched his fist. If he racks up some experience this season, next season, he'll be totally ready to pop off. Coach Vincenzo asked, so you're saying, instead of splurging on offense this winter, we should focus on a second-line midfielder and play the waiting game? Coach Tony said, we can save that cash and go full makeover mode this summer, then kick off next season in style. Coach Vincenzo clasped his hands. Listen, Tony, I've known you forever and know you're not one to get all hyped up. But banking on a 16-year-old rookie for half a season is no walk in the park. But hey, since it's your idea, I'm actually giving it some serious thought. You watched the videos and the highlights I sent, right? The two just stared at each other in total awkward silence. Coach Vincenzo mumbled, I've just been, way too busy lately. You want to leave a mark on your forehead? Coach Tony pressed his forehead and said, dude, I went out of my way to hit you up, told you to watch it, and you still haven't. Coach Vincenzo scratched his head. Okay, since there's no other option now, I'll check it out. Coach Tony said, good call. I'll send you today's game video too. Coach Vincenzo looked serious. Since we're here, let's watch it properly. Let's set it for Monday's recovery training day. The following Monday, Li Jian dashed to the training ground. Coach Luca called out to him, hey, Li Jian, yo coach, why are you outside the training ground? Come with me today. Li Jian was totally baffled, huh? What about training though? Coach Luca smiled mysteriously. Your training's happening there today. Back then, I had absolutely zero clue what was waiting for me over there. A few hours later, Li Jian's cheeks were on fire from nerves. Coach Vincenzo put a hand on his shoulder. Okay, don't stress too much. Li Jian couldn't believe he'd be training with the first-team players. A shout from the sidelines, substitution. Li Jian sprinted onto the field. Fiorentina first-team training ground, Viola Park. Alright, squad, loosen up and get moving. Let's crush it today. The first-team members were training? Wow, players I've only seen in videos. Whoa, even Dusan showed up here. Coach Luca spotted him. He's over there. Coach Luca called Li Jian, come say hi. That's Coach Vincenzo over there. He looks super chill. Li Jian greeted nervously. Yeah, hello. Coach Vincenzo said, I've heard about you, you know. Li Jian stammered, really. Coach Vincenzo grabbed Li Jian's shoulder. Li Jian was startled. Don't stress out about first-team training, okay? Chill. Yeah, he said. Just a simple observation. Good, just a basic warm-up. Yeah, but this is legit training with the first-team squad. But honestly, Coach Vincenzo was way more chill than I thought. Totally different vibe from my first impression of him on the pitch. Coach Vincenzo suddenly roared, too slow. Li Jian practically jumped out of his skin with fright. Coach Vincenzo blew a gasket. How many times do I have to tell you? You're moving like a snail. Use your brain before you move. I'm begging you. It's not that I'm confused. Coach Vincenzo is still yelling from the sidelines. Faster, come on. Man, he's actually kind of scary. The coach said not to stress too much, but I feel like I need to stay sharp. Coach Luca grinned and threw his arm around Li Jian's shoulder. Coach, you're kinda hyped today, lol. Li Jian laughed awkwardly. Yeah, ha. Today, I guess I'm repping the U17s. Gotta make sure I don't embarrass Coach Tony or Coach Luca. Li Jian clenched his fist. I'm gonna give it everything I've got. Coach Vincenzo started to explain. So the goal for today's training is... Yep, got it. Coach Vincenzo looked totally confused. You got it already. Yep, Coach Vincenzo thought. Okay, the confidence is there. But dude, I wasn't even done talking and he's already like... Got it. For real. Totally not on the same page. Li Jian was freaking out inside. Man, this is scary. I better answer fast. He seems super impatient. And this is not some basic training. Did I even get what he said at all? Coach Vincenzo decided to test the waters. Alright, let's give it a whirl and see what happens. Li Jian, you're up. Lorenzo, take a break for now. Dude, listening to his instructions had me sweating bullets. But in the end, it looks like the goal is to drop the defense line, then swerve around the defenders, send in a cross, and just blast a shot straight in. Li Jian dashed onto the field. No way, I'm teamed up with Dusan. Coach Vincenzo watched the game unfold. The teams we face either block the wing passes or pack the penalty area to block the crosses. Since all we ever do is cross the ball, the other teams don't even need to bother with fancy defensive tactics. Oh man, why are there so many people anyway? It's another cross from the wing. The attack in the final third wasn't going anywhere. To fix this, we need creative players, artists. Coach Tony said he can solve all these issues. A player asked Li Jian, "What's your position?" Li Jian replied, "I'm a second striker." Coach Vincenzo thought, "Sorry, I'm running out of time too." He remembered the fans' protests. Fans were calling for Vincenzo's head. Serie newspapers are going wild. Fans are finally letting loose with their hot takes on AC Fiorentina's coach Vincenzo Italiano. Fans were fed up with his boring tactics and were protesting at the home stadium demanding his resignation. Coach Vincenzo looked determined. "Li Jian, I have to be tougher on you." Coach Vincenzo blew the whistle. Training kicked off. Li Jian and Dusan are teammates. "I'm so nervous." "Nope, gotta focus. I'm just here to watch anyway. Not even really supposed to be in the action." Someone yelled, "Get in position." Li Jian dribbled forward. "Hey, if I mess up, whatever." A player noticed he kept looking around, like, wow, dude's got that head on a swivel habit, right? Coach Vincenzo didn't look at him. If he acted like everyone else, there wouldn't be any gaps. A player was surprised. What? When Vlahovic reached outside the penalty area, Li Jian broke through from the middle. Another player was also shocked. That kid, does he want to break through the space left by Vlahovic? "Hey!" A player tackled from the side, and the ball was taken away. A player shouted, "Wait, that wasn't a dribble, it was a pass." Li Jian passed the ball to Vlahovic. Coach Vincenzo was incredulous. That Vlahovic is seeking a one-touch play. That Vlahovic and that kid, he passed the ball directly into Dusan's advancing path. The height of the pass with the outside of the foot was at the defender's waist, cutting the offside line like a knife, catering to Dusan's famously picky taste. Vlahovic scores. Vlahovic scores again. Boom boom, goal machine unlocked. He turned and gave Li Jian a thumbs up. Beautiful pass. That was a perfect pass. The height was just right. It tore through the offside line, tailor-made for Vlahovic. Coach Vincenzo exclaimed, "That was a work of art." Coach Luca laughed. "Really? Did you know he could do this?" "I saw the potential. That's why I brought him here." Coach Vincenzo watched the field. There wasn't a hint of hesitation in his actions. Coach Vincenzo fell into thought. "All right, today's training is over. Everyone worked hard." Li Jian breathed a sigh of relief. "Phew, it's over. I hope I didn't make any mistakes in front of the seniors." "Hey!" Dusan suddenly appeared in front of him. Li Jian jumped in shock. Dusan, did I mess something up?" Li Jian was sweating bullets from nerves. "Dude, what are you even saying?" At the U17 training ground, Coach Tony was hyped up on the phone. "Joining the first team from next week, isn't it too early?" Coach Vincenzo was calm. "Not yet, why not? There's still a lot to teach him." Coach Tony insisted. "I need to keep him a bit longer." Coach Vincenzo shouted angrily. "Don't talk nonsense with him here. I'll teach him more." Coach Tony yelled back too. "I said not yet." Li Jian stared at the coach in the distance like, "Nah, I think it's go time." Li Jian was super confused. "I watched the last game and even dug up Fiorentina's matches from this year. Before, I thought the first team was way out of my league. So honestly, I never really paid attention. But after I chatted with coach, my curiosity was off the charts, so I went digging for info." In the highlight reels, there was this one player hogging literally every frame. Even in the match I watched live, the crowd went wild for him, goal or no goal. Dusan stared at Li Jian like a jump scare, grabbing his collar like he was about to drop some drama. That player is literally standing right in front of me now, making the scariest face. Suddenly someone grabs Li Jian. He's freaking out, like, "Dude, did I just mess up big time?" Dusan shouts, all hyped up, "Yo, why couldn't you be born 2 years earlier?" Dusan throws his arm around Li Jian's shoulder. "Then we could have crushed it in the Champions League together." Li Jian looked totally lost. "Wait, what did you just say?" Li Jian froze, face completely blank. "Champions League," Dusan said as he turned away. "Anyway, I think you're awesome." Dusan waved as he walked off. "Hurry up and get yourself promoted to the first team." Li Jian stared at him, totally shook, and yelled back, I'll try my best." Good thing I thought I was about to get roasted. Coach Luca walked over like, "Whoa, Li Jian, you're famous now. Do you even know who that guy is?" Li Jian replied, Dusan, of course I know." Coach Luca said, "Yep, that dude's been through a lot, trust me." Coach Luca pulled a serious face. "Dusan looks like your classic target striker on the outside." Luca went on, "But honestly, his real superpower is running into space and connecting the team." Luca kept explaining, "He's always getting those sideways passes, so I can only imagine how bored he must be." Coach Luca glanced at Li Jian. "But judging by his face today, dude really vibed with your passes." Coach Luca gave Li Jian a pat on the back. "Yo, you two had some crazy chemistry today." Li Jian was straight up flustered. Anna's like, look, Li Jian's blushing. It's because Dusan's runs were just too insane. Li Jian started replaying Dusan's moves in his head, the way he'd suddenly explode into the box, busting up the defense at the perfect moment. Number 27, Li Jian mimicked a kicking motion. As long as the pass is on point, it's a goal. Number 28, honestly, I didn't do much. Number 29, Coach Luca ruffled Li Jian's hair. Looks like you picked up a ton from just one game. Number 30, Coach Luca looked at Li Jian. But getting props from a top star isn't something you hear every day. You can hold your head up, you know? Li Jian scratched his face with a goofy smile. For real? Anyway, I'm just glad I didn't ruin your reputation. Coach Vincenzo came running over from way off in the distance. Li Jian and Coach Luca both jumped out of their skins. Coach Vincenzo was bent over, totally out of breath, and Li Jian asked, Coach Vincenzo? Coach Luca chimed in. Yo, is something up? Vincenzo, still wheezing, just grabbed Li Jian out of nowhere. Coach Vincenzo said, oops, sorry for being rude. Li Jian looked super confused, then suddenly yelled, dude, why are you like this? Vincenzo asked. How much do you weigh these days? Li Jian replied. Huh? Like, 2 months ago I was around 63 kilos. Vincenzo thought to himself, this dude's got almost zero body fat and is built like a tank. I bet he weighs more than that.